Hey everybody, it's Johnny Trucks from Lifted Trucks USA. Just here to do a quick walk around on my 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee WK2. First glance, one of the first things you notice is it does have a very small lift on it. It's, I believe, about a 2.5-inch lift. It's actually made up of two separate lifts. It originally had a RT off-road spacer lift, which utilized the factory springs and factory struts, and it was just, spacers and a shock extension in the rear. The factory struts and shocks had a lot of miles on it, so I wanted to upgrade them, and therefore I ended up going with the rough country loaded strut, which is a strut and spring assembly already put together, which makes installation a lot easier. And they sell that either separately, or you can get it as a kit with rear springs and rear shocks as well. Since the vehicle already had the rear kit in it, I was doing a lot of comparisons online. I saw a lot of people that were running the rough country kit that had the springs in the rear, and their front was actually sitting higher than their rear. And because of that, I just opted to do the rough country replacement shocks, which you can see right there, just the new shocks. And I actually utilized the factory spring with the RT off-road spring spacer, and that so far seems to be a pretty nice balanced ride height. Optical illusion, the rear looks like it does sit slightly higher, but since I actually did a rocker panel delete, I can measure from the bottom of the rocker, front and rear, and it's actually dead even. Ride's nice too. One of the other things I did to this is I lightly smoked the windows, and I put auto vent shades in the vent visors. According to the instructions, they're supposed to be in channel. I actually mounted them between the metal and the rubber of the in channel because they kept on moving around and going up and down when the windows were going up and down. I don't know if the instructions were wrong or what, but I got them in there and they're taped in there, and a little bit longer process, but they've been great so far. All my fender trim, as well as my roof rack trim, I actually resprayed with Rust-Oleum truck and bedliner spray. They were almost white. They were faded so bad. Made the vehicle look a whole lot newer. As you can tell, the rear and front fascias have been removed. It gives you a much larger or greater approach angle. I have D-rings in the front. You can get those right on eBay. The rear valance was also removed. And when you remove the rear valance, if you have a hitch, you'll see the hitch. In my case, you just see the factory rear reinforcement that was on the sits behind the rear valance. I actually kind of like it. It kind of mimics the tread thing that's on top of the front. On the top of the rear bumper. But I wouldn't mind getting a hitch in the future. The rear silencer or muffler had to be modified. You can see right there, this is the tip. When you do take off that rear fascia, you see a huge muffler. So we removed that, took the tip off the factory muffler and welded it to the pipe. Still has the factory, what they call the suitcase underneath the vehicle, which deadens most of the noise. It's not really much louder at all with that rear silencer removed. The tail lights were very, very lightly tinted. Most people can't even tell they're tinted unless it's parked right next to another one. The factory lights are almost pink, they're so red. Those were done at Factory Collision up in Weymouth, Massachusetts. They paint them. It's not a film. And the key was to make it look just like the newer vehicles where they use a darker red. I didn't want anything blacked out. If you notice that the wheels fit pretty level at the end of the fender flares. They don't poke out beyond them, but they're close to being flush with them. I am running a spacer 1.5-inch spacer on factory Jeep Wrangler JL wheels. I believe they're the high altitude package. Very similar to the Sahara 18-inch wheels, except they have a black powder coat. I actually like it, kind of darkens the look of the whole vehicle. Also, the chrome door moldings were removed, as well as the basically all the badging. So the whole thing's been debadged. That chrome trim on the side just peels off. Take a gummy wheel, get the adhesive off. Makes it look like the newer, 14 and ups. They do make a black grille for these, which I would love to buy. It's just very expensive. There's upgrades you can get for these too, like upgraded headlamps and whatnot. The brakes were just replaced all the way around. They're cross-drilled and slotted. Those are from Power Stop. And we actually did all new calipers too. And they're got that gold zinc oxide finish. Those are actually from Crown Automotive, which is the same company that makes RT Off-Road. I believe that's their brand. I have other Jeeps, a lot of people say, oh, that's not, a four-wheeler. It's got IFS, this, that, and the other thing. It's just my daily driver, guys. One of those things where, I wasn't designing it to take it through the Rubicon or anything crazy like that. I just wanted something a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit different, better than stock. But it's definitely, for me, it's underbuilt, or understated, I should say. Usually I kind of build vehicles that are very extreme. I wanted something that, if you, to the untrained eye, didn't really look modified. But if you were into WK2s or Grand Cherokees, you notice it had a little something done to it. It's the stances, I think, in my opinion, is just right without being too aggressive. Also, to the factory Wrangler wheels, oddly enough, the tire that comes on them, stock, actually fits inside the rear spare tire well if you remove all the plastic trim. So I actually have a matching spare on me inside the vehicle at all times, which is nice. A lot of people that go up to 33s, once you do that, the tire doesn't fit in there unless you deflate it, and it's usually too tall where the coverings for the spare tire, the rear cargo area, won't fit the floor flush any longer. So I'm very happy with it. Those tires, in my opinion, they're big enough without going crazy. As I said, if I want big tires, I'll just drive one of my Wranglers. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I did quite a bit of research before I built this, and you learn as you go. But as far as WK2, I think they're very comfortable. I drive the thing back and forth from Massachusetts to Florida, Massachusetts to North Carolina to Florida. It goes up and down the East Coast, and it's a comfortable drive. Well, if you don't subscribe to our channel, I wish you would. And if you click the bell, you'll be notified of any new videos we upload. Also, too, if you got a vehicle and you'd like to do a walk around on it, send me a message or leave a comment. And if I'm near you and we can get together, I'm always looking for new content. Well, be safe, everyone. Keep jeeping. Thank you.